Hello, this is the CRT man here. Today I have some more updates on my Lego computer, consisting of January 9th, 2013 to March 2013. Yeah, sorry I haven't really made a Lego video in a really long time, about like 2 months to be exact, because I haven't really been able to borrow my friend's iPod Touch too much anymore. But I'm going to try to make this with my webcam. It's a little bit awkward since I'm so used to using the iPod Touch for this kind of stuff. So hopefully the lighting won't be too bad, and I can kind of see what I'm doing. Kind of. So, first of all, the keyboard has stayed the same. The mouse has stayed the same on the same mouse pad. The floppy disks have stayed the same, and the speakers have stayed the same too. So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. The Lego, oops, shoot, that was stupid. The Lego light gun has stayed the same. It's still pretty cool. Yeah, you can use it for like Lego light gun games and stuff. Now the joystick is completely different. If you remember in the last video, hopefully, I had two game controllers, and the first one was like a big joystick, and the second one was like kind of more of a modern style. This one sort of resembles the NES style, or actually Vectrex even, because the Vectrex uses like an NES style like controller only with a joystick. It only has two buttons instead of more. And I made this Lego screwdriver, which in some cases kind of works. If you see on the Lego CRT television, you could actually fit that in the knob. I hope you can see that. So, yeah, but then it tends to break stuff too. So yeah, little Lego screwdriver. So hopefully you can see there. And this is going to be kind of a long video, so let me get some stuff out of the way to make some more room to show you all the important things, since I'm kind of low on space. So let me move the speakers too. So as you see on the back, hopefully you can see, the plug for the Lego CRT television / monitor is now internal. And here's the connector to the computer. And here's the plug where you plug it into the computer, which is different. You have to lift it to pull it out, and then you got to push it down to put it in. It's just kind of a better fit compared to the old power supply. And if you take this off, nice and easy, and take that out, and actually let me just unplug a couple of things. So the plugs tend to break a lot. I mean, that's just a common error, but it's not that big a deal. Kind of a long video. Okay, let me just forget about the plugs. And first, I'm going to show you a very, big advantage I've done with the Lego CRT television. But before I do that, let me just show you some changes on the color of the case. See, on the side there, it's much more colorful. On the back, you have one port and an internal plug. On the bottom, pretty random colors. And on the other side, you see there, it used to be more orderly, but when I destroyed the case for some reason, and then I just rebuilt it from memory, but it came out much less organized. So you see, you still have your classic 1970s tuning knobs for the VHF, UHF stuff, on and off / volume and brightness switches. Nice little mono speaker there. Little 4 to 5 inch Lego cathode ray tube, and you have your antenna, which I didn't change, and I still can't find the other one. So here's a major advantage of opening this thing. If you remember, before I'd always open it by pulling off this back area, but that could be a pain. So what I did was, towards this area, like right here on the gray, I pretty much just made something special. So hopefully I can show you without destroying the whole thing. And if you just pull, gently, which it's already starting to break, because I always fail on making videos, especially Lego ones, you could literally just pull it right off very gently. Usually it doesn't break, but as you saw, it broke in the video. So yeah, the case is off. And like a real CRT television, since I've actually opened those, it just comes off like a real CRT television case. And as you see here, yeah, it's you can access everything nice and easily. So here's the tuning area for the tuning knobs. Now, here's the flyback transformer, which I'll show you in a second, and here's the anode cap, which I actually found a way to make it seem like it's actually you could discharge it with the Lego screwdriver by adding on this red piece and connecting this computer video cable, but instead it becomes like a high voltage probe. See there? Hope you can see that. So you could plug it in to, say, like one of these little holes. There we go. To discharge it like a real CRT television. Take the little tip of the screwdriver, just put it under there, and it actually pops off, and you've discharged it the Lego way. So that's pretty awesome. As you see, the flyback anode connector, let me move the camera up, is the same, except it's got a little clear piece so this won't fall off too much since this is two cables. And if you take off the circuit board, which is very easy, move that out of the way, you see it's really big now. It's not the same as before. And the flyback transformer is red instead of blue. And another thing is that when it comes to flyback transformers with tuning the brightness, like on a real television, it requires a screwdriver, and it has two little screw ports. So if you take the screwdriver, take the little tip, and put it inside of that yellow thing, you could actually, like, tune it. So that's pretty awesome. Here's the power cord. These two big things are like the capacitors, some more transistors and stuff, and your anode and all that. So yeah, just much more improved, much more realistic in my opinion. And then back to the cathode ray tube. You have your neck board, which has three little color tuning pots now, which is much more advanced than before. Red, green, and blue. Hopefully you can see that green one. And if you take that off, it doesn't destroy the neck anymore either, which is great. It's got some little capacitors and transistors and stuff on that, and the little connector to the electron gun. Here's the deflection yoke, which still comes off generally pretty easily. See there? And you could take out the actual cathode ray tube still relatively easily. And since I'm using my webcam, I could do this with two hands on the film. And it comes off like that. It seems like two parts generally kind of break whenever it does that. Yeah, these two little black pieces from the tube. But in real life, that wouldn't happen. So, and then you just have your bare tube. See, there's the anode connector right there. So yeah, that's for the TV/monitor, which is completely taken apart. But it's nice and easy. It's really cool. And then for the computer itself, the case has made somewhat of a major change. The back end is much longer compared, well, not much longer, but it's like longer. Like this part was not there, and this end is shorter. So as you see, you could still put in your floppy disks for your games or software, and you can still eject it. My famous ejection system, which still works like a charm. And over here is the hard drive section, which I'll hopefully get to that. And there's a little hard drive light. Here's where you plug in your keyboard, that little hole right there. On the back you have your video connector. This is how you, over here you open the case, and this is where you plug in the plug. And these are just some little vents and stuff. So this part of the video is gonna get pretty crappy, so be aware of my crappiness when it comes to my Lego videos. So oh my goodness, oh, I'm sorry, this is just falling apart. To take it off, you usually take this part off, and then you start tearing off all this, but recently it hasn't been coming off as easily as I originally made it, so I gotta perfect that. And it tends to kind of destroy itself. It's a pain, but I'll fix it. So here's the new insides of the computer, which I haven't really showed in a long time. So, yeah, here's the insides. You have the floppy drive, which is like all of this. And this little thing here moves, which reads the little discs since I've been watching those floppy drive music videos. Here's the hard drive, which you could actually take off this cover to see the insides. Here's the CPU with the heatsink fan on top. Here's the power supply, hopefully you can see that. Most of the case is taken up by just the hard drive and the floppy drive, so the rest is practically just the motherboard. Here's the video port. So now I'm going to take it apart further and take out the hard drive, which comes out like a charm, which has never been seen in any of my other LEGO videos. It always just falls apart since I was using one hand. Here's the hard drive. You have the two connectors, one for like the power and one for like the IDE. And this is how you take off the case. You literally just pull it off, which this part sometimes doesn't come off completely. You can just easily pop that back on. And over here you have the acculator arm, the disc, which does spin, but it's a little bit cramped case, so yeah. Here's like a little ground box, the little spindle motor, and yeah, it's just really comfy, really cool, and there's a little light. So yeah, there you have it, all the major updates of my LEGO computer. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.